I'm Bob Arum, and I'm with the Fighter's Voice.
My name is Andre Ward.
Knocking out the competition.
Fighter's Voice!
The Fighter's Voice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice Knockout Podcast. Joining me today in my co-host position, the one, the only man, the dog master himself, Mr. Eric Hernandez. How we doing, Eric?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
You know, Eric, we got a great show, man. I mean, we got a lot to cover. We're going to have some fun. And a lot of people have always asked me, they said, Richard, don't just get fighters on the show, man. Open it up a little bit. You know, I mean, get entertainers, get some behind the scenes people, get some people that you know, normally don't get credit for the work that they do. And, you know, I can go on, I can give this title to somebody, but I just, I got to reach out and just let her know that we appreciate her, that we watch what she's doing. She's making it happen. And we're talking about the manager of the Knockouts for Top Rank Boxing, KRISTINE Stokes. Welcome to the show. How we doing?
Hey, guys. How are you? Hi, Rich. Hi, Eric.
Hey, how are you? I know, right?
It's been a long time, especially in person.
I know.
So how are you holding up there? How's everything going with you?
You know what? I feel like 2020 was a really big blur. But I'm doing great. I mean, honestly, I'm doing great. I go through my slumps and everything, but, you know, as long as I maintain my daily ritual, I'm fine. I have a lot of things going on, so it's like it's never a dull moment.
Well, we're going to talk about those things. You know, I got a lot of emails today. I got some text messages. They were asking me, they go, Richard, who is she? Is she a model? Is she a TV personality? And I said, just tune into the show and you'll find out. First and foremost, let's talk about how you got with Top Rank Boxing.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a really long time ago. So I've been in nightlife, since I was 21, nightlife industry. I opened up Mecca clubs and
explain that position, please, if you don't mind. A lot of people hear nightlife, they think you're out there partying.
No. I help build world-renowned clubs like Excess Nightclub, like Tris, like huge ones outside of the Wynn. I worked with Tao Group. I helped open a lot of venues in LA. And I've just been in that industry for a really long time. And I started on as a cocktail server, and I was one of the high sellers. And I picked up a lead role and became a manager very soon in the game. So I was barely a cocktail serving for a few months, and then I became a manager. Then I started training girls. I had teams. I did a lot of floor plans. I did a lot of, operational stuff. So I had to deal with hiring. I had to deal with training, setting up back of house, front of house, dealing with client or customers. And hospitality is a really big thing for me. And I'm from Vegas, so I had the opportunity of working in almost every single industry. I was front desk, I was valet. Could you imagine me valeting with purple hair? That was me.
There you go.
I opened up the Palms. I opened up amazing hotels and casinos. So I really had the opportunity. I want to say I pioneered in the nightlife here. So yeah, I've had a lot of great opportunities. And basically that was me. I did a lot of that stuff. So I come from an operational background and hospitality background.
Eric, good thing I asked that question, huh? I mean, I didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't. Did you, Eric? I know you guys are friends and you guys had been in contact before. Did you know any of that stuff?
I knew some of her background before. I knew that she did a lot of PRing for a lot of stuff in the Vegas and in the LA area and whatnot. So it's kind of interesting for everyone else to kind of realize, oh, that's who she is. So I'm kind of glad that we're being able to dissect exactly where she came from and where she is now in the industry that we're all in.
Definitely. I got to make sure my daughter's tuning in. I just text her right now because I've always told her, don't rely on anybody, baby girl. Go out there and get it. I mean, chase your dreams and believe in yourself. And, I better let KRISTINE talk. I know you have more. So after the pioneering and after helping the clubs get on their feet, what made you decide to get into the sport of boxing? Or was it just the entertainment side?
Well, honestly, it was kind of my boss at the time, Victor Dre. He was familiar and friends with Todd DeBuff and Bob Arum. And I guess Todd was inquiring, hey, I want to do my own ring girls. I don't know I don't know where to start. And he's like, oh my God, have your people reach out to Stokes because she's really good at I used to design uniforms, everything at Excess, all the clubs I did the uniforms. I had a really heavy hand in all of that and participated in a lot of that stuff. So he was like, this is the perfect girl for you. So then I came on in 2012, I want to say, with a Pacquiao fight maybe. I should know these things. I told you, Eric, I was like going through my Instagram. I was like, how old? God, these are so old. So we started off really quick, and I got involved with the Top Rank team, and we were jotting down names, and I came up with like the Top Rank knockouts, which you think sounds so like easy, but it came so well, and it was like such a perfect fit. So the Top Rank knockouts, came up with that. I designed the uniforms, picked the color. It's Todd helped me pick the color. Obviously, their team picked the color. And then I just created ever since then. And in the beginning, we really had like a huge, impact. We were coming out. We did calendars. We did like meet and greets and all those fun things. And, obviously through the transition of us going from Turner to HBO and on now into ESPN, like we've kind of dropped off a lot of those other things. And our main focus had kind of depleted from the knockouts and went more towards our boxers and Top Rank, obviously. So, I mean, we're still there, and we're still like the face. I would say we're definitely the face. We're the cheerleaders of boxing. And like Eric was telling me earlier, a lot of the girls, like I have these girls that we all have a connection, and I've sought after them. I recruited them. I met each one of them. We had all of us get along great. We're like sisters. We've traveled together for years, and it's just, we're like one big happy, like sisterly family that does everything together. We would do adventures. When we were traveling, we would go on adventures and make sure, we were out there exploring each city that we were in, getting to know the fighters where we were at in the home base and stuff. So we did a lot of things, but obviously due to the pandemic, it's kind of sad we're not doing any of that.
I could definitely say during all these different events and whatnot, you would find these girls out in the city at the most random places, just, exploring and whatnot. And, one thing that, definitely got to bring up is KRISTINE really honed these girls to what they are, today. It may seem like it's an easy job to just go in the ring and show a card, but these girls, they go through a whole training method that, of having to, be a ring girl. And Stokes came up with pretty much that whole thing, the Stokes training camp, if you will.
I was going to ask that too. I'm already, not to interrupt. First of all, how many girls do you have, and what do you look for in a girl?
Well, I have 4 girls: Rachel, Stephanie, CJ, and Tiana. Those are I would call them our regular girls. I do have other girls that we do use, but those are the girls that I would call my key girls that will always be in the ring, and they'll always be there. And obviously you've seen through the pandemic, they've been the ones that we were going to use. So they're our core girls. I do have a few other amazing girls that we do like bring in and out just to kind of bring a fresh face, if you want to say that. But most of the time it's going to be my main 4. What I look for: smile, their character, like if they're polite, if they're genuine, if they're honest. Like it's really funny because it's really our connection amongst each other. And all of us have, obviously we're all women, we have different personalities. So
imagine.
Yeah. For the most part, everybody gets along amazing. It is like a sisterhood. It really is like a sisterhood. And the biggest thing for me is how they get along with each other and how they want to represent themselves through the brand, or represent the brand through themselves. And it's all been smile. And honestly, like Rachel, I would say, since I recruited her, I took her from Tecate back when she was a baby. And now to see her grow into this beautiful model and woman, it's incredible. But hers was just like her girl next door attitude, like her genuine like sincerity and being like caring for people and, her surroundings, and actually getting immersed in the boxing industry is really great to watch the girls grow into it. And same with me as well. Obviously I'm Filipino and white. I don't know if you knew that. I'm Filipino, Irish, German. So I'm a Pacquiao fan. So when I got to work with Top Rank and it's Pacquiao, I was like, oh my gosh, everybody's like, So for me, that's how I started, is through Pacquiao, So seeing the girls grow into boxing, and we are actual fans. A lot of us think we're just girls, but no, we uphold the standard. You don't fraternize. There's rules. We have to smile. It's the funniest thing. Like you stand up there, you have to smile, and you have to put your hand on one side. They have to mirror each other. They can't move, and it's just like a whole thing. And it's easy, but it's hard. You know what I mean?
I've seen you coach too. I've seen you talk to some of the girls. Because at first, when I would see you at some events, I couldn't figure out exactly what you did. And then I would see you talk to the girls, and you would kind of coach them. You'd kind of hold your posture as if, okay, make sure we do this, and their head up. And I was just watching and just noticing, those little things, they make a big difference. And really not only are you pioneering nightclubs, it sounds like, you're pioneering their careers. You're launching their careers, because I was going to ask you, a lot of times using this platform with Top Rank, does it open up opportunities for your girls?
Absolutely. I think all of them have gigs that they've gotten from being on national television and international TV from each boxing. They get obviously have fans, but they definitely have gotten gigs on other platforms, whether it's I think like video games. They've gotten, I'm sure, movie parts, commercials, modeling gigs, definitely. But yeah, they have gotten a lot of extra work from that for sure.
Eric, I think we're in the wrong business, Eric. I mean, we need somebody to help pioneer us, man.
Yeah.
Stokes could tell you, I already tried out for the thing. She didn't let me. It is what it is.
Oh my God.
You got to fit in the outfit, right?
I just wouldn't fit. It just didn't work.
We had one show. Oh my gosh. What was it? The pranksters, the prank guys.
Yeah.
They went in the ring. Oh my gosh. That was a little overboard, but that was the one and only time we had a man in the ring representing.
And that was just too much already.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the training that you do for the girls, did that come from somewhere, like a pageantry, or how did that come about?
So that came from just primarily me watching them on camera and my just natural, I guess, like thing to want to lead and make sure it looks good all the time. Like wherever they're looking, it looks good on camera, it looks good from this scene, it looks good from this view. When they're moving their hair, when they're touching their face, when they're moving their like all of those silly things that girls just naturally do. It is a lot like pageantry and cheerleaders, because they hold that face and that pose and they are just constantly happy. They're constantly engaging. And yeah, it is a lot to do with, I personally don't have an actual background in pageantry. I do have a pageant now, so now I'm leading into a pageant world. I've been in the pageant world for like the past 3 years. But prior to that, it was basically inspired from, I guess I wouldn't say the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Like they really the cheerleaders inspired me on what exactly we were looking for in each girl, and pageant girls, like the smile, the look, the grace, everything all together. Yeah.
So it sounds like you wear a lot of hats. I want to talk to you about something that's very important, and I know that's real dear to your heart. Let's talk about your nonprofit and also what it stands for and who it helps and who it touches and those that are in the process of getting that help and getting that exposure because of what you ladies do.
My nonprofit is the Project Fabulous. We actually just, we've been around since 2019, April, but we didn't actually have the opportunity to start initiating our cause up until recently. We did do a gala on December 30th, and mostly the nonprofit organization, our goal is to create a program to empower and educate and elevate mental health of our youth. And it starts with the youth, adolescents, obviously. And we're going to go up to adults as well. But it's mostly to address mental health awareness and maintenance for our youth and adolescents.
So right now your target is the youth, the young.
It is the youth, but so originally we had decided we were going to build a program to go in public schools. And right now, due to the fact that there is no public schooling and it's all through Zoom, I had to now redirect on how I need to pursue it. So right now, just to get our name out there and just to kind of make sure we're touching the community, we started our gala. We start doing a handout. We did one handout last month where we just bring food and clothes donations to the homeless. We're also in touch with Aiden's Army. She's one of our pageant queens. She touches families that are affiliated with cancer. So we donate money towards them. Right now, due to COVID, we're not allowed to participate in going to help out cancer patients. So all we can donate is our money and our time, and help prepare food. We actually can't physically be at a lot of these places due to COVID. But to get our name out there with Project Fabulous, we're starting this next month of February, meetups for veterans. Just a meetup so we can go and make sure people feel comfortable talking about where they are mentally, their state of mind, how they're feeling. And even we're starting a podcast. There's so many things going on. So a podcast coming up too, where we'll be just talking about how to just reach out to somebody in your phone book, talk to 5 people, send them a text message. How are you doing through this pandemic? And my mother actually inspired me to do that through Miss Fabulous, because as soon as the pandemic started, she made sure she connected with all of her pageant queens and her contestants to make sure they were okay. And she's like, let's meet up. Let's do it once a month. Let's do it every other week. And what she would do is she would go to the park and they would socially distance. We would bring snacks and we would just talk about how we're doing. Are you okay? you know, do you need any help? Is there somebody that you want to reach out to? And we would do some Reiki healing, some yoga. That's how it initially started, is through that. And then now with the Project Fabulous, we will be initiating our mental health awareness and maintenance program. But for now, just to make sure we're out there in the community and helping out, we're doing the outreaches as far as like the community, the homeless, feeding the homeless, dressing the homeless. And I've partnered with Team Limitless Empire. They're also who I do my wealth management with. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of things going on. But ultimately, we are out there to help and spread mental health awareness and maintenance.
Where are you guys based out of? I mean, hearing this, how can somebody reach out? How can somebody be a candidate for your program?
Well, you can reach directly out to me through my phone number or my email, which is stokeslive@gmail.com, or you can go to my Instagram at stokeslive, or you can go to missfabulouspageants.com. There's some information there. We are still building out. We actually revamped our website, so we're still building out the Project Fabulous website in order for you to. But you are able to like donate on missfabulouspageants.com. But there is a little information thing there. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, during this time, have you recruited any fighters to I mean, when the COVID was not in process, I mean, just to be there, you know, like fundraising, just to say, hey, this face, he also supports what we're doing, you know?
I have not recruited any fighters. No, I haven't. But I'm sure, though, if I actually went out and recruited them and asked them directly, I'm sure it would be a different story. That is something that the initiative, like once I actually start reaching out to specific people, definitely. I just wanted to, I'm like kind of a perfectionist, which has actually enabled me a lot. I'm like, no, it's got to be perfect. But the reality is the time is now and the time is to act now. So actually in February, there is a whole list of people that I will be reaching out to, whether they'd like to donate their time or they'd like to donate clothes or donate money. Absolutely.
Eric, I know your head was spinning already, man, thinking about some fighters names already.
I'm like, I've already got ideas. I got ideas.
I mean, can you imagine if Manny Pacquiao stepped up, Eric? Can you imagine something like that? How huge that would be?
Yeah.
A simple phone call, right? It's just a simple phone call.
How do you say no to that? You know?
Exactly.
People ask me, they're like, have you reached out to Manny yet? I'm like, no. He's on the list. He's on the list. Whether it just be him just giving me a sign off through IG, whatever it is.
There you go.
Exactly. You know, KRISTINE, I don't know if you noticed, but Everett's wearing Adidas. He usually wears Nike. He usually wears Puma or Under Armour. But today he's wearing okay. Oh, yes, exactly. The brand of all brands. But today he's rocking some Adidas. And I know that's hats off to both Rick Merigiam and Robert Garcia, who are now the pioneers of boxing when it comes to Adidas, because Adidas has always been helpful with boxing, with the USA team and what have you, but they never had a face, they never had a real brand that they can sell, and for all the fans and the followers and supporters. Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy is now the face of Adidas when it comes to boxing, and thanks to his team and Rick Merigiam, I just had to give him props. And I was giving Eric a hard time because I'm thinking, man, you already got the gear already?
No, big time. They did some amazing things with that. I mean, Robert's really paving the way for a lot of these trainers that are needing that guidance and needing that inspiration. And that's a perfect example of what he's doing. And it obviously put in the work, and, you know, it wasn't overnight. I mean, he put in the work, months and months and months of work, and look at what happened. You know, he's now the face of Adidas, and it's an amazing thing. Wow. So gotta represent, gotta support.
Absolutely. And that was going to be my next question. You know, Rick Merigiam helps manage what Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. KRISTINE, do you have a manager? Do you have an agent? Or is it just you and your mom to keep you driven and motivated?
It's me, myself, and I, my mom, absolutely, my closest friends, my best friends. And, of course, my two little humans, my son, Braden and Ethan, keep me 100% inspired and focused. And my brother, like, yeah, I have a lot of support, a lot of great support. So when I actually, I don't want to say I necessarily suffer from mental health awareness, but when I truly want to reach out to people that need to be spoke to, like anybody and everybody, even when you're feeling your best and you're putting on a social media, it may just be a front. So it's always just want to make sure you reach out to anybody to make sure they're doing okay and that they're feeling okay, even when, you know, they may be putting some front that they're not. But yes, I definitely know. I'm my manager. And I soon shall be a talk TV personality.
There you go. There you
I was
go.
going to ask you, I saw a picture. You're holding the microphone. Is that something that you plan on doing? Were you comfortable doing it? And where can I watch that interview?
Well, I do. Oh my gosh. So way back when, I did have a show, that one picture of me on the car. We did a show and it was called oh God, I don't even remember my
Behind the Ropes.
Behind the Ropes with Stokes.
Yeah.
Behind the Ropes. Yeah. So we would just interview like random people in the back, or not random. I did Roy Jones Jr. I did like Lampling. I did a lot of great people, and it was a very casual, easy interview. It's nothing serious. It's not boxing related. And then the most recent ones we just did like just knockouts behind the scenes with the knockouts. And we would go hit the cities. We'd hit the city and we just go post up and ask people questions like, oh, are you excited about this? Like, what's your favorite part about your city? Are you worried about this fight? And then we also did stuff like during the fight week, and then we built it. So that is definitely something I am interested in pursuing. Obviously, due to COVID, we didn't really get an opportunity to continue any of that stuff. But that's something that I'm doing and working on my own, yes.
One thing I did notice, and I am kind of envious, and it is on my bucket list. Man, what was it like going up them steps in Philadelphia?
It was when we actually interviewed a whole group, because they had a boxing group that were training outside at the bottom of the steps.
Okay.
Hitting mitts out front, and then they would run up and down the stairs, and that was like part of their daily routine. And it's actually really incredible how a lot of people, how that movie inspired a whole city, if not a state, to go there and utilize those steps and run up there and inspire people to get up to the top of the stairs, and you just work towards your dreams and you got this. You know what I mean? It's crazy how that movie, Sylvester Stallone, truly inspired so many people by just putting that in there, in that whole scene. Because there was all day, there were people just running up and down the stairs, and we had the opportunity to interview them, and they were really like, yes, this is something that we see in the movies, and we just had to do it, and now it's part of my daily routine of running.
Eric, I got to run up them steps, man. I don't care if I got to walk up them steps. I'm going to make those steps. That's on my bucket list.
I'll have your inhaler right there when you get there.
I don't use them, but maybe I'll use them for that one.
I didn't think they were that hard. No, I'm kidding.
So there was a lot of people there, and I noticed that you have some pictures with a lot of people. What was it like meeting Dana White? I noticed that picture.
At the time, it was actually really cool. And the weird thing is I never really know the dynamics behind the scenes of what's going on between promoters and different. So I think at that time with Dana White, there was not really too much beef between Dana White and Bob. So it was cool. He was very pleasant. He was very nice. I know the girls already had known him from previous times. I know Stephanie probably worked for, not necessarily UFC, but she worked for an MMA company at one moment in time. So she was familiar with him, and he was very polite, just nice to us at the time.
He actually is a big boxing fan, as you know, Eric. And yeah, he prepared for an exhibition, him and Tito Ortiz. They signed up for a boxing match. It never happened. The Ortiz camp at the last minute kind of pulled out. Eric, you know, I noticed, and I know you watched these fights this last weekend with Conor McGregor, and no one's exempt from getting stopped, especially when you have these little gloves, man. What was your take going into this fight? During the fight, I know that you noticed, because you're a boxing and MMA enthusiasm. What did you notice during that fight with Conor McGregor?
You know what? That much time off, I think, really affected him, and it was noticeable right off the bat. He wasn't as poised as he usually is. He wasn't, to me, as prepared as he usually was. He kind of went in there looking like he was still studying, you know, his opponent. He didn't really go in there like he usually does, confident and ready to roll and whatnot. You could see it. You could see that the time took its toll. And those first couple of hits to his head, I think those affected him immediately. I don't think he was used to that contact as much as he used to be. And it just affected him, and as you can see, it didn't end well for him.
I noticed he wasn't checking that one kick. During his interview, he said, this, you know, I started checking him. I didn't see him check that one single kick or give his own kicks at all, except for that heel kick that he missed. Other than that, I mean, the distance wasn't the proper distance he needed. He was in with a totally different man, even though it was a rematch, a more confident man in 10 pounds difference as opposed to the first meeting where your chin holds up just a little more.
Right. No, definitely. I mean, it was a big difference. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I kind of think that it was the wrong opponent for him in the first place.
I think so too. KRISTINE, have you ever thought about not just boxing, but maybe doing exactly what you're doing with maybe, say, another MMA organization, say Combate America, with Mike Fromowitz. Actually, I tagged him, let him know you're going to be on the show.
I am a free agent. As long as it's not a conflict of interest, and when I say that, I mean like I can't use my knockouts for another company. Obviously, I design all the outfits. I create all the outfits. I don't actually physically make them, but I actually design all of them. So as long as I'm not taking designs from one and transferring them to another. I did that for a little bit for Tecate. Like I did all the original Tecate girls. I placed all of those girls there. Like Janita, Desi, like all of those girls. Those were my.
You've done designs for boxers as well, haven't you?
Not for the boxers. No, I have not.
Oh, okay. I thought you did something.
But I worked once with a girl that did stuff with them. Her and I collaborated together and put some stuff together for the knockouts.
Oh, nice.
We did that. But yeah, I mean, I do it for everybody, but my loyalties lie with Top Rank, of course, because I've been with them for so long and I love them so much. But they're really cool with me going out there and making money where I need to, and doing what I'm doing best, and that's designing outfits and making sure girls are on point and all that fun stuff. So they're good with that. So wherever I'm needed, yes, I can do it.
So what is the ultimate goal for Christine? What is your ultimate goal? What do you want to achieve? What doors do you want to open? What areas do you want to pursue?
That is a really good question, because I'm always pursuing, and I'm always I'm always pursuing doors for them to open when they open. I'm currently right now what I've done, right before the pandemic hit, I had decided to go into the financial service industry. And the primary reason I did that is because I transitioned from a corporate world into independent contractor world, which you have to set up your whole life on your own, because there's not a company that does any of that for you. So my main goal was to provide financial services for fighters and entertainers, because they don't not really know much about that. They have a management team that usually you get tax preparer, you have finance, you get like stocks and stuff like that. But mine primarily is to make sure they have their families and everybody's secure for the future. So that's what I'm doing right now. With that being said, that's not the only thing I'll be looking forward to doing. Like I said, I have a lot of things going on. So my nonprofit, the pageant, just really getting out there and making sure I'm helping other people, which is what, like I said, the wealth management company that I'm with, like that's my primary thing, is to be out there helping. I did for the, I know Eric and I talked about it, my 11's lifestyle management company, which has not been launched. We toyed a little bit with it with Kell, Brooke, and Crawford, which was a very close fight to me, close to my heart, because I love Terrence. He's my favorite fighter. And then he's fighting Kell Brook, which is like, technically I provided masks, I designed shirts, and I did swag and stuff like that for them. So it was like, oh, you know what I mean? It was just such a fine line. But that is something also I'm reaching out doing within the boxing community. I want to be able to provide a service for them. So that's like also helping them with, their branding and getting them those types of things, and then also helping them with their financial situations. And I have a team and business partners that will help me do all that to execute it properly, to make sure they're in the right hands. You know what I mean?
No, that's good. Eric, I can see something missing from it. And I know what you're thinking, Eric. She needs a woman's fighter's voice t-shirt and a dog boxer t-shirt on her.
Yes.
She really does.
Right? There you go.
We need that address and the sizes. And the size.
I box and dog boxer shirts all the time. It's my favorite crop top. I made it.
But when was the last time you used the hand wraps?
It's been a minute. I am
There you go.
I wanted to say, I've been really blessed to be around so many incredible athletes and incredible, inspiring people in my whole life. And then I was running during the summer. Every day I was running, doing this route, and I saw David Goggins. And my business partner for 11's, he's the one that turned me on David Goggins. He's like, there's this guy, David Goggins. And I started watching him get hard. He's running, talking about getting hard. There's nothing to stop me from running, blah, blah, blah. So I'm running and I see him, and I was like, oh my God, I think that's David Goggins, which is really funny because I see amazing athletes all the time, but for some reason, because he's not a boxer, I was just very intrigued to meet him. So I'm like, I'm going to stop, and I I'm going to speak to David Goggins. And then he went MIA. I didn't see him because he had gone somewhere else for like 3 weeks. Anyway, so then we come to find out November's fight, we were actually going to be the first time we could let fans in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, this is incredible. You know, not only was Top Rank the first ones to create the bubble and get live events going, live events, when I say live, like for fans to see online, we were able to now provide fans to come in. So that's two like incredible things that Top Rank has done during a national, international pandemic where it stopped everything. So I'm like, oh my God, I have to invite David Goggins to our first live event, where we're allowed to have fans. So finally I'm driving and I'm literally FaceTiming Kell Brook and his manager, and I see David Goggins and I'm like, oh my God, I have to stop. So he's running one direction. I go and I make a U-turn to face him, and I pull up and I'm running towards him. He's probably like, who's this maniac chick like running towards me? And I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
Taking for his wallet.
Right.
And I was like, can you cut? He's like, okay, yeah, I go, I'm so sorry. You probably didn't understand the shit that I just said, but I want to invite you to this fight. And then they're exchanging words. We're on FaceTime. I'm standing there in the middle of the street. And I emailed him. He's like, yeah, email me. Emailed him, and him and his lovely girlfriend, like they reached out. They came to the fight. And then that was just like magical in itself. And it's just like those small, huge, big, like things that happen that you do. And you're just like, holy shit, I'm a part of something so amazing and so fun. And yeah, that was my huge thing that I did over this.
That's a good connection right there. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's really good. But to bring it back to the boxing, the go hard shit, I asked him, I was like, how do you go even though it's cold? I am not a winter girl. Like, I'll go get snow bunny, if you want to call it that. But as soon as winter hit, I was like, I can't run. It's too cold. I won't go in the ring because my feet are cold. So I haven't honestly boxed for 1 month.
All right, well, summer's coming. Be prepared.
But I'll be ready. I'll be ready to wear those wraps. And we have Top Rank here too. So we have Top Rank gloves.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a great collaboration anyways, but
Yeah.
we got to get you that Fighter's Voice t-shirt, just to make it complete.
I will box in the Fighter's Voice shirt, and I will box with my wraps, my dog boxer wraps.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a great connection right there. Now listen, I mean, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I want to bring it up anyways. January 26th, is a day. It's somebody's birthday today. It's out there. And also, it's 1 year to the day. I mean, we lost an icon, a legend, and not just that, someone that was dear to his heart. His daughter, and Kobe Bryant. I want to ask you, last year during this time, when you heard the news, what were you doing? How did you react, and how did it just make you feel? It's a tough question, but I want to ask you, because in doing it, we keep Kobe's legacy alive.
I'm going to have to refer to my phone book or my pictures to see where I was actually on this actual day. What was it, 20? The way I felt when I did hear about it, I was like in shock. I was like, how is that even possible that could even happen? And it was really, 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 really sad, because a lot of my friends are Kobe fans. My son, my little one, his dad, they're like Laker fans, all about Kobe. Basketball, they love that. Brayden doesn't play actual basketball, but he loves Kobe because his daddy does. But yeah, that was a huge thing. I don't remember where I was. I just remember not believing it, being like, what, that doesn't make sense to me. And then all of a sudden, of course, the world of social media, just everything's popping up. I was like, oh my God, it has to be real. Like, there's no way. I actually was in California when it happened. So yeah, my friends live in Calabasas. I think I was probably with them in Calabasas when they were telling me about it. How the fuck is that even happening right now? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Right. So close to it. So
Eric, where were you at? Do you remember, and how has it affected you?
I do remember my son walking into the room and saying, "Hey, did you hear about Kobe?" And the way he said it, though, to me it was like, oh, he's not going to get traded, so whatever. I kind of just ignored it.
Yeah.
And then I was getting tagged in a bunch of things on social media, and I started looking, and I was like, oh, no way. But at first I thought it was just an accident. I didn't know it was the whole helicopter. I didn't know his daughter was with him. I didn't know any of that. I just thought it was an accident. And I said, okay, well, hopefully he's good. And then I think Ellie Setback posted something.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh,
it's real.
This is his daughter that was with him. And it hit hard. You know, I have a little girl myself, so it kind of was like, wow, that's crazy. You know, you definitely can't take life for granted, or for granted, and you know, you have to you know, live day by day like it was your last, and it kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things. But yeah, I was very sad. You know, not that I'm not a Kobe fan. I thought he was one of the best players, you know, behind MJ. And to me, you know, everybody always has that argument, blah blah blah. But you know, he has his own abilities, his own special spot in the NBA, and I think it affected so many people because of his effect on so many people in the game.
Christine, what was your fondest memory of Kobe? And anything that he's done that just, you know, that you take with you?
I was kind of hard on Kobe, actually. When I was watching, I was like, why isn't he making that three-pointer? That's his best shot. Like, I wasn't pissed off about it. So, actually, what I wanted to say, I literally was just listening to Ed Milet, and he had just spoke about how he saw Kobe a week before Kobe had passed away with his daughter, and he saw how Kobe was with his daughters and how nurturing and caring and loving he was with them. And I lost my dad at a young age. So to me, like, saying goodbyes are like the biggest thing to me. So I don't even like my kid. Like, he is, you know, just seeing how close he was with his children. And, you know, although he was very, very, very committed to his game and his career, he was a very committed father. And that's really inspiring to know that, you know, he was a great dad. He was a supportive dad. He loved his kids dearly. And, you know, regardless of how much he put work on the court, he did just as much work at home to make sure he was a part of their lives and had a connection with each one of his daughters, and that's huge.
Yeah.
Eric, what impact has he made with you? What's your fondest memory?
You know, being a Kings fan, I wasn't a big fan, but just watching how amazing he was and how he came up, it's inspiring. It's truly, truly inspiring. I mean, unless you know his story, unless you know his history, unless you know how much of the game he really truly loved, you wouldn't understand why he was so good. And you know, to piggyback off what Stokes said, he was a family man. He was, his kids were his number one. You know, just a week before he even passed, you know, he's at the mall with his little, you know, with the baby and just enjoying a day with just them two. You know, it's just them two. You know, nobody else around, nobody bothering them, because they knew how serious he was with his family. So, you know, the fondest memory I definitely have of him is, you know, being that family man, being that man of who he was, that man of God, and saying, hey, you know, this is my priority, and then there's basketball. And he showed that so much.
You know, I will say this. I'm not a Laker fan at all, but I've always been a Kobe fan, just because of his competitive nature and what he stood for, and even when he made a mistake, like everybody does, how he manned up and corrected that mistake and became an even better father, a better husband, and a better role model after, you know, he faced, like we all face our demons or our skeletons. He's so competitive that he was no longer going to fail in that area. That's where I see things, and just what he's done for the sport and continues to do for the sport. He's alive and with us as much as he was sitting courtside at the game. And I wanted to show tribute and give tribute and ask both what you guys felt and what you got out of it, and what was your fondest memory. I'm a New York Knicks fan, so it'll be a while before we win anything. But I got to stay true to my team. I definitely got to stay true. Now, I want to change it up a little bit. And, you know, when they first, you know, a lot of people don't put posters up. You know, we got to see our share of Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao posters. And maybe that was going to take place. Maybe that was on the horizon. Maybe that was getting ready to be announced. But now we're hearing the first time I heard Garcia and Pacquiao, I'm going, okay, great. It's finally going to happen. I've been waiting for this. And then I started saying, you know, Mikey, he's going to cut the ring off, but Manny's going to be throwing flurries. But then it was the wrong Garcia. I'm hearing Ryan Garcia and now Manny Pacquiao. I'm going to start with you first, Eric, because I'm sure you heard rumors in and out, and I'm sure you did too, Christine. When you first saw the poster and it was released, and I noticed Sean didn't shy away from it, then I knew, you know what, this is legit.
You know what it was? Sean Gibbons. Yeah, Sean Gibbons. I knew what Garcia they were talking about right off the bat. So getting all the messages of oh, Mikey's going to get it, or, you know, all this and this, Mikey. And I just wouldn't respond because, you know, I'm not going to break their hearts. You know, they have to wait till the poster comes out. I caught wind of the first poster before the titles and everything were going to be done. And right off the back, I laughed to myself because I was like, yeah, little do these people know that when this is released, it's going to be a culture shock for them because it's the wrong Garcia that they're thinking of. So when that first poster first came out, I went straight to the comments. I just went straight to the comments, and you could see everybody commenting like, wait, what? You know, it was just totally off and whatnot. But it right away turned into the memes that you see with the Karate Kid and whatnot, and
Miyagi.
Yeah, the Miyagi and whatnot. But, you know, I think it's a good matchup. I really do. I don't know why I think it's a good matchup, but I really do think it's a good matchup. I think it's, you know, it's either going to be a pass of the torch or it's going to be putting out the torch.
Wow. So somebody had mentioned that it was an exhibition. I don't know. Did you hear anything like that, Christine? What were your thoughts when you saw that poster?
I was going to ask you guys if it was real, but I obviously, since Sean Gibbons put it up there, you know it is. I'm going to have to go off what Eric just said, like it's a passing of the torch. But honestly, I feel like Pacquiao is at the point where he's just like, hey, I just want to fight.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get me in the ring. You know, if this is going to be my best opponent at this time, I'm going to give it all I got. And honestly, he's elevated. The last fight I watched him and he did incredible. I didn't expect a lot. I mean, obviously, we watched him before, and I've seen him transition from Top Rank into PBC, and you know now where he's at now. But the last fight I saw him, which I don't remember off the top of my head, was when it was. I thought he did great, and he had a lot of different energy in the ring. So maybe this young kid will inspire him to just be something completely different that we're not expecting.
Well, you know what? I wanted to ask you about that too. A lot of fighters, they have different emotions when it comes to Ryan Garcia. One, a lot of it is envy. Two, you know, they see this kid, good-looking kid, and he can fight. I mean, what's your take on the whole? He's the next Oscar De La Hoya. Is he the next Oscar De La Hoya, Eric, or is he the first Ryan Garcia?
I think he's the first Ryan Garcia. To me, the whole De La Hoya phase is gone. I think Oscar took that with him. And I think all these new cats are paving the way for themselves and just a whole new light. But I never saw him as the new golden boy. In my eyes, the one that really just would have been the mere perfection of that would have been Jose Ramirez. You know, coming off the Olympics, you know, the way he fights, his style and whatnot. That to me would have been the perfect golden boy.
I see those similarities big time, and I still do see those similarities. Just the way he moves, the way he speaks, the way he handles himself.
Yeah, but I don't think Ryan's at you know, his last few fights. I've seen improvement. Obviously, I think, you know, switching camps and getting to his new trainer made a huge difference. But do I see him as the future of boxing? Not really. I just see him as the guy that we're all going to keep going and watching and loving and just, you know, having our fun to watch. But to me, there's still other people that I'd rather see fight.
Christine, what's your take on the popularity, the platform that he has, and how do you see him as a true professional boxer?
As a true professional boxer, I mean, I'm kind of like in the old school portion of it. Not too old, going way back, but he's I think he's great, but I feel like he's a millennial fighter. I mean, he's Instagram popular. He's got a huge following in that aspect, and that's all millennial based. Like if you're,
that's quite a title to give him.
Huh?
That's quite a title to give him.
Yeah, like
you're right on that.
Yeah, he's an influencer, so he's got that millennial backing following him around. But you know, to be honest, we want to maintain like the history and the class of boxing, but we also, as being in the industry longer, we should want to pass on the torch and teach the youngins like the history of boxing, but they're going to have their own run and dynamics on it, you know what I mean? So look at all the influencers out there that are boxing, like Jake Paul and all those kind of things. Like a lot of people have different views on that as well, And I feel like Ryan Garcia, if he has the heart and he has the face for it and he wants to fight his way properly up the chain, him taking Pacquiao is an incredible bout. And, you know, he's got the backing to follow it. But as far as him being like a true like boxing, like, what do you call that, person that's going to pave the rest of the way? I mean, I don't think, like Eric said, I don't think he's like a face of boxing, but that'll be something that millennials will have to choose for us in the future, you know?
And, you know, I'll be honest, Rich, I would have rather seen Pacquiao fight Mikey. I think that would have been a more historic fight. And I would rather see Ryan fight Jake Paul.
That sounds like a, yes.
Okay.
If I could make a card, that would be the card. And then I throw Tyson.
What about a Mayweather Pacquiao again?
I wouldn't want to watch that.
No, why not? Why not? I'm just curious.
I didn't care for the first one. It was ticket sales. It was a show. It was you know, you got two amazing boxers that weren't going to box each other in the first place. You just had two amazing people that were just going to bring a crowd in, and that's it. I was impressed with Floyd. I thought he really showed his skills. I was impressed with Pacquiao not backing down and just going for it 100%. But it's just a fight I didn't really care to see. It was just one of those fights that I'm home that weekend. I'll go ahead and watch it. You know, I just wasn't a fan of it. Didn't care if they were going to rematch. Didn't care if they wanted a trilogy. Didn't care about it at all. I think Floyd should have, you know, stepped up and just kept fighting and fighting who he should have fought. I definitely wished and hoped and prayed that he would have given Maidana the third fight.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, you know, Pacquiao did it for his fans. Floyd did it for the clout. And that's how I kind of see this fight going with Ryan and Manny. I don't see it as a true going away party for Manny. I don't see it as a true, this is going to be Ryan's next step. I just see it as it's going to sell tickets.
First and foremost, it hasn't been confirmed that it's an actual fight. It may be an exhibition.
Right.
There may be some rules in place. And if it is, I don't see, you know, at first I wasn't too sure about the weight. I happened to talk to Cutman Rodriguez, and Mike said, hey, man, Ryan walks around about 155, 160 if that fight does take place. I don't see him being victorious with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is still the man. He still has what it takes to compete, as he showed against Keith Thurman. And to reflect back, I would love to see him and Mikey Garcia. It would be great for boxing. You have the Mexicanos, you got the Filipinos, and they love boxing. When I say that, they embrace boxing, and it'll just be a huge event. Now that people are making these dream fights come about, you know, the days of Sugar Ray Leonard making Donnie Long come down in weight, catch weight, you know, where Sugar Ray Leonard is the true welterweight to capture the light heavyweight title back in the day. I mean, there would have to be weight issues there, concerns, you know, to make them in the middle. Now these guys they're able to step out, and the pioneers are truly Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. They open the door as if to say, America, it works. This is like America's apple pie. Now we watch these fights at home. See, KRISTINE is watching them ringside. Alice, what's it like being ringside, man? Hearing these guys just go at it and grunt, and just these two warriors just swap punches. And we're talking about bigger fights. We're not just talking about your regular fights. We're talking about the Tyson Furies, the Deontay Wilders, the Crawfords, the Jose Ramirez's, the Lomachenkos.
The last one, okay, so the last one obviously that I was closer to was let me rewind. The last real fight that we've had with fans craziness was I think the most memorable one was Tyson Fury and Wilder. Fight, and that was a pretty intense fight, because you know you see Wilder and you just see him going down, and it's just like, oh my God. Obviously we're a Tyson Fury fight fan because we're the top ranked, but obviously you see a fighter going down and the emotions are just, it's pretty intense. It is pretty intense. And now that we're like so far away, like we're still ringside, but we're far. Like I don't know if you've been in the bubble, but now our fights, obviously the last few ones I go a little closer, like Loma and Tio, like I was a little closer, but the impact is different. You could hear every punch, everything.
Yeah.
But there's something I really give a lot of the fighters and any athlete right now that has to do any of their skills on the field, in the ring, wherever they're at, without any fans. Because at first I was thinking they'd have a hard time because you have that fan, that adrenaline, that rush. You know, you got to put on a show and do all this. But now I'm just hearing more like they're more serious and intense because there's no distraction. It's just you in that ring. It's just you and that other team or whoever's in there. It's just you guys and your opponent going at it. So to be there and actually feel and hear and see everything now with no distractions and no sounds is actually pretty cool. It's like, it's a lot more intense.
How many times when you walk into an event, whether it's COVID or not, you pinch yourself and say, man, I got the best job in the world. Is this real? This is what I get paid to do. You know, you love what you're doing. You never work a day in your life.
Yeah, it's super fun. And I've had the opportunity to do like swag, create gear, and I've been involved in a lot of the really cool things that sometimes I'm like, am I working? I'm like, I just gotta go talk to everybody because I'm like, am I still working? I just want to make sure because it is really fun just to be there. It is. I'm pretty blessed, super blessed.
You know, the whole Top Rank family. You know, I've had a lot of the fighters and trainers and some of the executives on the show. And name some of the ones that you just know, okay, this guy's a goofball, or he's super cool when he's watching the fight, but lay off him during you know, the press conference or what have you. I mean, the Evan Corns, the Frank Styes. I mean, who stands out? Christina Potcher, you know, Lee Samuels, even Bob Arum. Who are the people you know you got to stay away from during the fight, but you know they're kind of loose when the fight's not going on, kind of relaxed.
Well, you're talking to me, and I talk to everybody, so.
Okay.
The only people I stay clear of are the main event fighters in their camp. I'm like, I'm not going to go over there because it's just so intense. You know what I mean? One thing I can say is Teofimo Lopez, like day of fight, week build up, he has always been like out there talking to us, make sure he's involving us. Like the last time, his last fight, like he brought shirts out, like it had the ribbon for breast cancer awareness because it was breast cancer awareness month. Like, so I really can say, I want to say usually the fighters in the fight camps, like during fight week, I'm just like stay away from. But other than that, like Bob, Brad, everybody's incredible. Like they're just really cool. And I don't know if it's because we're the girls and we're like the cheerleaders of it. So we get a lot of like love in a sense. But it's really like everybody's super cool. The bubble did get a little tense because at moments in time, you know, seating and making sure the commissioners and you have to be CDC, all the crazy things going to make sure meeting all the COVID restrictions. Like during setup production and stuff, it was a little bit tense during certain times because a lot of those people in the beginning of the bubble were there and they couldn't leave. It was literally like being at a military base. Like they had a game station area. And they played ping pong. There was moments where they were there for like weeks and weeks at a time and could not leave. So that time I was lucky enough not to be there too much during that time. But I did hear it was super intense, like people setting up, people in the production, like Ciara, bless her heart. She goes through and she makes sure everything is like done from A to Z.
She's the tall one, right?
Yeah, Ciara. And she's the one that makes sure she's like Brad's like right-hand woman. So she goes through and like makes all that shit happen. But maybe I would say fight days when Ciara, you can be like, hey babe, but beforehand I try not to bother her. Maybe that's because I try not to bother her at all. But Lee's always pleasant. Frank's always pleasant. Like all, you know, Evan's great. Like everybody's great.
What about Frank?
Frank's
Yeah. I say that because I kind of know his personality a little bit, and Eric knows it better than I.
Well, I think that Frank is cool. He's always cracking jokes to me, at least. I don't know. Is there a different side of Frank I should know?
No, that's the Frank that I know. I'm sure Eric knows one, but there's probably children listening, and we can't discuss those.
Right. And Frank has too many connections to El Chapo, so I don't really like to talk about him too much.
No. Frank actually, he makes a lot of shit happen too. Like if I ever need being a female in the industry where if I have to get swag or gear or talk to a fighter about something, Frank actually has always been like, here, let me introduce you. And just made it break that ice between me and the manager or me and the fighter, just so it doesn't look like I'm trying to be a groupie. And that's been my biggest thing being in the industry because we are females. And way back in the day, we had like some issues with, oh, the fighter's hitting on the ring girls, or the fighter's trying. and just stay away. And it's almost like a football cheerleader type thing. Like, we don't fraternize. Like, that's just how we are. And my girls know that. Like, I mean, I'm sure maybe back in the day, some people before my time, whatever, but that's just something we abide by. So Frank has really been great at like breaking the ice for me, because I never want it to look like I'm trying to get all up in that mix. So it's really been, he's been really respectful of me and making sure just everybody's treated properly over there.
No, Frank is badass.
Yeah.
I love that dude, man. He's as real as they come, and if he can do something for you, he's going to do it.
Definitely.
And you know, Eric knows him better than I do, and they got a great friendship. You know, that we've talked about that. But Frank has been solid. He's what you see is what you get, man. You're not gonna get any counterfeit around him. He's 100% real. Kind of reminds me a little bit of, speaking of real, you know, one of our our guest tomorrow is going to be Mikey Garcia, but his brother Robert. Whenever he comes on the show, I'm always telling him, if you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask Robert a question, because Robert will tell the truth. Win, lose, or draw, he's going to let you know what time it is.
Yeah, no, Robert's
you know exactly what I'm talking about, Eric, right?
Yeah, no, Robert's a straight cat, man. He's going to tell you exactly how it is, and he has no filter whatsoever. I love that his YouTube is Robert Garcia, or what is it, the Garcia Unfiltered or whatnot.
Yes, exactly. Let's plug it right now, because that is a must watch. I watch it. I'm very entertained.
Oh, yeah,
I'll go back, Eric, and literally I'll rewind it again and say, look, and I'll show it to everybody. I mean, I love his one-liners.
Yeah, no, him, I mean, I don't think people realize how smart this family is when it comes to the boxing world. Pita is, I mean, this kid grew up in it, so he knows his stuff. I love listening to him when he finds someone new, because then that's what I'll go and watch. That's what I'll go and look for. And then, you know, Robert, he just has the history of it. So, and again, no filter. So he's going to say all the shit that he wants. And it's the way it comes out, it's just like, oh, man.
Hey, he doesn't belong to any governing body or any promotion or anything. And he speaks it. He has a great relationship and a respectful relationship when it comes to, Robert, we need some fighters. Hey, your fighter, be ready. And if you haven't been there, Christine, I suggest once this pandemic flies over, visit Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. And you'll see like a Rottweiler and a pet bull just going at it when it comes to sparring.
Where is his gym at?
Riverside.
Okay. Definitely. I know we have a couple guys out here, like Jorge Capatillo's like gyms out here. Well, I haven't been to his gym. I haven't been to Floyd's gym. I haven't been. The only gyms I've really been to, I train with an MMA fighter or trainer. Hold on one second. My doorbell's ringing.
Oh, is that a pizza or what's going on here?
I don't know.
I heard Rocket. That's all I heard.
Oh, yes. Come here. Rocket. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Oh, I was going to show Rocket to you.
There you go.
Rocket's her dog that she takes everywhere with her. If you've been to a fight, you've seen Rocket.
Really?
Yeah.
No, go ahead. You can. Yeah, there you go. Is that your son?
This is one of my babies. Come here, baby. That's Braden. He has a piano lesson right now, and I totally spaced at 7 o'clock. But yeah, I have Rocket. She's gone to fights with me. She's been in her little kennel. She's my emotional support animal. For all of you that seen her, I swear to God.
No, actually, yeah, I can identify. But you know, Christine, I'm watching you, and first of all, you're self-motivated. You're very driven, and now you're taking us in the tour around your house, which I like. You're keeping it real 100%.
I'm on a Zoom call, but come on in. Sorry.
Nice home. That's your home?
Yeah.
Let's see the stairway. I caught a little bit of that.
There's the stairs.
Nice.
There's the front room. Got my plants. They all have.
It's like we're taping cribs, huh, Eric?
Right, and walk into my crib. Walk into my crib.
Piano.
Nice.
Yeah. Rooms, living room. Yes, this is my place. Actually, during quarantine, I purged. I'm still purging. I've been literally want to live that minimalistic lifestyle, so I have a lot of stuff to get rid of still.
Well, there you go. I mean, everybody's making that transition. You're doing very well. You know, you're still involved in what you're doing. You're very active on social media, and you don't just post anything. I mean, everything that you post makes sense or leads to something. And, you know, I've been a big fan and now a supporter. And, you know, I'm not telling you to go bye-bye, but I can't wait to have you back again, especially when this COVID lifts and I can get an update on, hey, how's everything going? What has progressed? What door has opened? And when are we going to see you on the mic again?
Oh, I'm waiting to see myself on the mic. It was really hard because you kind of get a little like lost in yourself during COVID. I mean, you either see a clear path or you kind of get distracted. So I don't want to call it distraction, but I did work on a lot of home stuff. My son also, my oldest son, he's in the financial service industry with me as well. So he's learning a lot of that. I got my brother, he's in construction, and he was worked the whole time during COVID. So he's been killing it. He's also got his motocross, his motorsports thing going, Stokes Motorsports. So, I mean, I have a lot of moving parts going on. So I'm like, okay, wait, do I want to do this? Do I have to help this? And there's so many things going on, and make sure the little one's, doing well in school, because we have him in school full time still.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to be able to, myself and his dad have been able to afford it through the pandemic to make sure he goes to school still. So he's going to school, and I got my mom, and I got the nonprofit. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on, but one thing I've learned, my best friend Jen, always, we would talk about it often, is just, getting focused and staying on the path. So I just have to write down and read on a daily basis what my goals are and just stick to it. So yeah, you will definitely see me in the future on TV.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up your brother, because that was one thing I wanted to bring up. Big fan of your brother, Stokes Motorsports racing team. They do amazing things. Just want to give a big shout out to your brother.
Thank you.
Amazing things.
He could be a future guest, maybe if not in this studio, in the Stockton studio, and we'll let him and introduce himself to all of America.
Definitely, he's last year I think was his first truck race. That's something him and my dad dreamt of doing years ago. So he started my brother off in motocross. My dad rode dirt bikes. So, I mean, when I was little, I wanted to be the boy. I wanted to be with the boys all the time. So it was really hard for my mom to get me. She tried me in pageants when I was younger, putting me in little dresses. And then I just wanted to be with the boys the whole time. I was like, I want to ride dirt bikes. So I rode dirt bikes. I did quads. I did all of that. And then obviously maneuvered out of that. But my brother picked up that sport, and he started doing that. He loves it. It's one of his dreams, and he's pursuing it. And I'm so happy for him and his wife, Stephanie. She is his biggest support system along with us, and he's killing it all around. And he's one of my biggest inspirations as well. My mom and him and my kids, they have really been my driving force to me. So I seeing him every day, just crazy. He's like, I've been just meditating on this, and it's happening. And I'm just like, whoa, it's real. It's so real. Have you really focus on it? It'll come to fruition,
Yeah, you call things as if they're not as if they are. Eric, how have you made that transition? I mean, you're in now your new house, and are you still? Because I'm waiting to see that garage. Because you told me it's not going to be exactly the way you see it now, and I can't wait to see it, man.
I'm done. I'm done with moving. I'm tired. I'm done with this house. I don't mind sleeping on the floor. I'm just done. It's been fun. It's been interesting. I'm glad to be home. 209 is home. I'm glad to be home. It's been the whole pandemic thing has been a little bit difficult to try to maneuver around things, the traveling, the fights and the trainings and the whatnot. But, the brand is still alive. The brand's been, blowing up. It's just been everywhere. So we've been very blessed with that. And it's been interesting. Definitely been interesting. But I'm just glad to be in home, and I'm we're excited. It's still all new to us. I still haven't picked up the pool table. I haven't picked up this and that, but once everything's done, we'll definitely do an MTV cribs like Stokes did, and I'll show you guys around. And the garage is going to be ready. It's going to be done.
I just want to see that green. I want to see that green belt, man. I want to see it in person. So once this whole COVID lifts, man, let me know when the barbecue is. You're 2 hours away from me. I'll make that trip. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll do a little circuit. You can come back to mine later. We'll do a barbecue once the summer hits.
There you go. So tell us, how do we stay in touch with you? How do we follow you?
Me, it's Stokes Live. It's at STOKESLIVE. Stokes Live. You can on there, the link to the pageants and all of that other stuff is on there. The Project Fabulous. We also have an Instagram. It's called The Project Fabulous. And excuse me, it's not updated yet. I had just initiated it, but I'm still working on my branding for that because I'm trying to it's finding branding. You guys can imagine how hard that is to look for a logo, create a logo. So I'm doing that. And then you have at Miss Fabulous Pageants. So you can do that. Would you like my email?
Yeah, hey, yeah, put it
Go
out
for
there.
it.
That way people can stay in contact with you and maybe want to donate.
Yeah, definitely.
But I want to
It's
say this.
at Stokes Live. I'm sorry, Stokes Live.
There you go. I do want to say this, though.
I'm sorry.
Oh, right on. Talk about
I'm here
branding.
somewhere.
I posted one of your pictures today, and or was it last night?
Yes.
And I
Okay.
got a lot of reaction to that. A lot of reaction. And who's your photographer? I couldn't give photo credit because I really didn't know who it was. It was the red, white, and blue one.
Mikey.
Was that Mikey Williams?
I actually think that was my cell phone.
Really?
I
That
think
was
that
at
was
the
my cell phone.
That was at the baseball field, right?
That was the Fresno show.
That was
Yeah,
at the
that's right,
baseball
that's right.
field. It was Herring. It was Jamel Herring, and
Yes.
it was the whole
Yeah.
big show we had. It was an incredible show. It was a veteran show. Yeah, that was a great show. But that photo, I think the girls took it for me. Or it was Mikey Williams. I can't remember. I literally have 40,000 photos in my phone. So when you asked me to send you photos, I was like, I have so many incredible photos with so many celebrities, but I never post anything.
I'll tell you, Eric, you know, listening to everything that she's
Really, that's something I would
accomplished.
like to get better at because I should be showing how much I see it at the fights. Like, it's awesome. But that might have been Mikey, or it could have been my cell phone. I don't know.
I'm going to give credit to Mikey because Mikey's an amazing photographer.
Mikey's everywhere.
Let's do it. Yeah.
He's awesome.
And he does, like, he takes photos of the girl, like, I mean, all those incredible photos you see of the girls, all Mikey accredited. Like, we get some amazing, amazing shots, and all the fighter shots. Like, it's just so cool when I go there and I see him take these shots, and I'm like, whoa, how did you just take that off of this crazy light? And then this photo came out so amazing. Like, all the pictures you see of the fighters during the fight, those are all Mikey's, and they look amazing. He's really, really incredible photographer.
That's another one that has an incredible job, and he's an artist, the way he puts it together and just captured that special moment. You know, we can go on and talk forever. Eric, I'm going to leave you with the last question if you have anything for our guest tonight.
You know, I'm very glad that you were able to come on the show. I'm very glad that you were able to talk about your nonprofit. You know, your mom's pageants is huge in Vegas. Everybody knows about it. I'm glad that you're now involved with that. And again, very glad with Stokes Motorsports. I'm glad that that's growing and whatnot. So very happy for you guys. I'm glad you were able to come on the show, and look forward to seeing everyone again, hopefully in the near future out at some fights again.
Yeah, it'll be. We have one coming up February 13th and then the 20th at the MGM in the Bubble again.
And the bubble, yeah.
In the Bubble.
I'm not ready for the bubble no more, so.
It's not that bad. I heard that they might be testing out some rapid testing. I also do rapid testing, so I have a lot of things going on. If you guys ever need some rapid testing, I'll post it up on my IG. So I'm wealth management, rapid testing. I'm pretty much all your go-to girl.
There you go.
No, you're driven. So I want to thank you for coming on the show. I know it took a little while to get the date correct, and you know, I can't wait for you to come back. I mean, you do have a story to tell. I mean, you're an inspiration, not just for women, but any human being to go chase their dream. And it's okay to put on more than one hat so you can continue to push forward. And one door opens another, and, you know, iron sharpens iron. And you don't have to be in the ring for iron to sharpen iron. You know, you network and your work speaks for itself. And Top Rank should be very honored and very blessed to have someone like you in their corner and doing a great, fantastic job on prepping these young ladies that are on TV and being very professional. And by the way, I wanted to add, very classy when they wear their shorts or their outfits and handle themselves as ladies.
Thank you. That's definitely something we pride ourselves on, because we are not that, we would never ever, that was one of the biggest things that when we spoke of creating the knockout program, is that we wanted to be reputable of the brand and not look cheesy or sleazy as the ring girl. So that's how we came up with the knockouts, and we are like the cheerleaders of boxing. I appreciate you guys recognizing us as that too.
And we do. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight, and I want to thank our guest, KRISTINE. I mean, she's just in charge of the knockouts, and she's making sure that they are a knockout every single night, not just in the ring, but outside of the ring in life. And Eric, we're going to be seeing Eric back, and we still got that launch to come with the Fighter's Voice in Stockton, California, along with SHELLY, HOLLIS, ESCOVEDO. He's on project right now, and he'll be joining us in a couple of weeks. Tomorrow, don't forget to tune in to, we have guest four-division world champion, and that's Mikey Garcia. He'll be with us by way of Zoom. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap. I want to thank our guests, and don't forget the YouTube subscribers. I appreciate you guys, and thank you. That's www.youtube.com/thefightersvoice. It's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening. Okay.